I love the heck out of this plant. It gives me everything I want in a bush. It has these large, colorful flowers that last a really long season. Requires almost no care. It's never had a pest. But to keep it in such good shape, you do need to prune it, and I'm going to demonstrate how in this video. Leucospermum are the star of my garden. I have 3 different ones so that I can see them from different parts of my house. They usually start blooming around May here in California, and this one you can see in August, it still has blooms on it. When it comes to trimming Leucospermum, the first thing you need to know is, do you have the right stage of the plant's life cycle? You need to trim a Leucospermum after it has flowered, but hopefully before the new flowers have set. This plant is still in the flowering stage. I could trim it now, but then I would lose all of this beauty, so I need to wait a few months. With the Leucospermum, about the only care it needs is pruning. You actually should not fertilize it. Without pruning, the plant will just get bigger and bigger and bigger, and it will also start to get what's called leggy. You'll have large areas inside of your plant which don't have any leaves or flowers. And as the growth continues at the extremities of the branches, it will start to get heavy, and it will weigh down, and your plant will just droop and have a really poor shape. This is a different plant on the same property, but it gets sunlight at different times of the day, and so you can see it's dead. These blooms are ready to be trimmed. The plant at your house will very likely be ready to trim at a slightly different or even a vastly different time of year. Again, we're in August here on the coast of California. Depending on when your spring is, your fall, your sunlight, your temperatures, it's all going to vary. What you have to think about is the bloom cycle of your plant. You could just flick off the blooms, but that is not going to give you a good outcome. Now that you know when to cut your Leucospermum, you need a tool. I think this pair of nippers will get you through everything, but they need to be clean and they need to be sharp. For information on how to do that with your tools, see the link to the video below. When you prune your Leucospermum, you're going to use your same basic good techniques you use for all of your bushes. You're going to cut at an angle, you're going to cut deliberately, and you're going to cut strategically. This is how you do not want to cut. Flat, straight up to the sky. This leaves a platform where water can collect that will lead to the growth of pathogens that will hurt your plant. A good cut is at a 45-degree angle, just above a growth node or a leaf. You cut like that. This leads a slope where water will run off. Next, we're going to check our plant for anything that's damaged, dead, or diseased. Here you can see a broken branch. This is never going to live. It provides a place for pathogens. So I'm going to come in on here and cut at a 45-degree angle. This part of the plant is new growth. You can see that it's a brighter green. The leaves are softer. We're going to cut below new growth. And every time you cut, 3 or more branches will grow. Nice angled cut. This is old. These are the dead flowers. This is new. These are the new growth. I want to point out that all the techniques we're talking about are for a landscape bush. This is going to be a dense bush with a nice shape. This is not for long-stemmed florist flowers. This was actually my first Leucospermum, and I love this bush, but love hurts. And I love all this new growth. I think it looks so great, but I have to cut it off because I have not trimmed this bush in a couple of years. And there's a lot of long, straight branches in here that don't have any new growth on them. And this plant is getting taller and taller and more leggy. And if I want it to continue to look good and have a lot of flowers, I need to do some corrective pruning. It's important to not be afraid to trim your bush. Do not let perfect be the enemy of progress. If you don't trim your bush, it's going to get worse. Also, if you're a little shy about your pruning, make a cut maybe higher than what you think. Look at the bush, think about it. You might decide to go back in and cut it a little lower. It's all about a process and making decisions and learning. As you're trimming your Leucospermum, notice that there's differences between the newer growth, mature growth, and old growth. You always want to leave at least 2 inches of newer growth. Not necessarily the very freshest growth, but new growth. Do not trim below where there's live leaves. If you don't have 2 inches of nice green live leaves, your plant cannot grow from that point. So I'm deliberately and strategically picking some places to trim this plant. I'm cutting at a 45-degree angle. I'm leaving 2 inches of leaves below where I cut. And every place I cut, I should get 3 new branches. This bush has a dead branch. I'm going to cut them in. I'm not going to cut it out here because that would leave a bunch of dead branch. I'm going to cut it right around the collar. As I've been trimming, I've found some more dead branches. I'm going to take them off. I'm going to cut this one off, a preliminary cut, so I can see what I'm doing, and then I'm going to get in here and cut really close, right above its collar. This is a before and an after of the same small bush. It is still leggy on the inside. We'll have to come back next season and see if more growth has filled in. What do you do about the leucospermum in your yard that hasn't been trimmed in years? You can take about 50% of that plant off. Just make sure that every branch still has at least 2 inches of nice leaves on it. That will leave the plant a way to perform photosynthesis so that it can get energy from the sun and make new leaves, new flowers, and continue to thrive. Thank you for watching. We are the Master Gardeners of San Luis Obispo County. For more information about our program or to get answers to your own gardening questions, please see the links